Hey guys, this is Matt with Spruce It Up Yard Renovators. Today we're going to be changing the oil on my pressure washer. This is a Simpson 3200 pressure washer with a GC-190 engine on it. You have the option of using two different types of oil, the 10W30 engine oil or the 5W30 engine oil. And I'm going to explain to you the difference here in just a second. Here's the manual. Now, the manual says if it's consistently 55 degrees or cooler, you're going to go with the 5W30 engine oil. If it's consistently 55 degrees or warmer where you live, you're going to want to go with the 10W30. We live in Florida, so obviously we're going to go with the 10W30. The tools you'll need for the job: about a 4-inch tall Tupperware, a size 12 milliliter wrench, and a long skinny funnel. This is the left side of the unit, and if you see there, it says engine oil, and it has an arrow pointing to the other side. Now the reason it says that is because there's no hole in the frame for the engine oil to go, so it's going to make a mess. You see that? You see there's no hole, and you see the arrow pointing to the other side. So here we are on the other side. You see the hole, and that bolt right underneath the fuel canister is what we're going to remove. And after you remove that, obviously you're going to want to make sure your Tupperware is there, and you just let it leak out all the way. And that's a closer look. So you just remove that bolt with your size 12 milliliter wrench. Have that Tupperware in place, let it drain out. You may want to tip it slightly so it all drains out nicely. Okay, the engine oil's been drained. We're going to remove the dipstick, the oil dipstick. And I'm just kind of setting it there, trying not to get it dirty. You always want to make sure that that's clean. Putting the funnel in. And here we go with the 10W30 engine oil. Now, I found online that this thing takes 0.61 quarts of engine oil. That's the capacity. It did not take that much, and you're going to find out what happens in a second. I was just kind of trying to be in fancy. I had it already marked on the container where it should have ended up, but I put too much in, which is no problem. A lot of people are worried about putting too much in. So now I put a little bit in. I checked the reader on the back to see how much I had. Putting a little bit more in. Really, ideally, you want to put in just under the amount and then kind of work up to the amount. That way you're not wasting any engine oil. That's not what I did. So, I mean, this does not take a rocket scientist. There's no reason why anybody shouldn't just be doing this themselves. You don't need to take it somewhere. So I'm just looking at how much I've put in. I'm going to stick a little bit more in there. Again, it says it takes about 0.6 of a quart. 0.6 of a quart was too much. And I'm about to find out that it was too much. So I'm just adding a little bit more. Trying to be slick with the video. And I remove it, and as I remove it, you see that the oil is like to the brim. So now I've got to empty some out. It should come up about halfway up those threads according to the manual. So that's what I'm eyeballing now. I'm just pouring it out, and then I'll set it back down, and then look where that oil level is. I can still see that it's a little bit past the halfway mark on those threads. And so I'm just going to keep tipping it. I've got the Tupperware to where it's not just leaking out on the ground and killing my grass. And so really, I mean, worst case scenario, you overfill it. You got to do this. And you waste a little bit of oil, but it's no big deal. Anybody can do this. Literally anyone. And this is the process. All I'm doing, I'm just looking, seeing where the oil level is at on those threads. And then let me wipe this. And basically what I'm going to say, and so now I'm going to clean that dipstick off, voiceover, clean up the area, is that it should be about halfway up. And I'm showing you there, you can't really see it very well, but the oil level is about halfway up the threads, like I've been saying. So can you see the oil level? And that's where we want it.
It doesn't have to be a video. I know, but
there's a better shot of it. You see how it's about halfway, and that's really where you want it. And the manual also says to put the dipstick in, to not screw it, otherwise you get oil all over the place, and it should come about halfway up, which it did. And so here's the illustration in the manual. Point 2 is the too low zone, and point 3 is the too high zone. So you want to have it somewhere in the middle there, which is where we ended up. Anyways, this has been Matt again with you from Spruce It Up Yard Renovators right here in Plant City, Florida. What we do is we pressure wash and clean up your home. A lot of times a customer will be kind of fed up and flustered and not know what to do. We'll come in, we'll devise a plan with them, rip out what needs to be ripped out, install what needs to be installed, and at the end, the customer is happy to come home and looks forward to it instead of has that feeling of dread. Give us a call, 813-495-5846. See ya.